So this is uncharted territory for me. Haven't gotten a lot of experience kayak fishing, especially not on big water. We're in Buffalo Harbor in New York. We just left the Niagara Falls area. I'm gonna check out what this kayak gig is all about. Fishing the walls with jerk baits, and you know, get jerk baits, get some swim baits. Gonna give it a go here on in Buffalo Harbor with the good folks from Old Town. All right, we're out here, we're doing this. First time in a Dakota powered Sportsman. I'm just chilling, this thing is awesome. Let's go, this is so cool.
So being left to your own devices on new water, on a new platform, is a lot to figure out. There's a lot of moving parts there. You got to get comfortable with the kayak that you're in for pretty much the first time on water like this. And then you got to crack the code of a new area. So as you can imagine, the day got off to a brutal start. I didn't fall in the water, which was good. I was definitely a little tentative to stand up in the kayak to start. Kind of a little insecure of my lack of experience, so I ended up sliding off on my own to see if I could kind of divide and conquer and figure out this area. I fished deep and slow. I fish shallow and fast, throwing everything from tubes and blade baits to jerk baits. When I got to a point where I'm like, all right, it feels like it's been a couple of hours and I don't even know where the other two kayak anglers are. I'm not too familiar with this boat, so if something goes wrong, I don't even have their cell phone numbers in my phone. So I went to go kind of seek out where they were and see if maybe they were having any better luck than I was. When I got there, Alex from Old Town had decided that the fishing was so bad, he was gonna head back to the truck to answer some emails. And Savannah from Old Town and myself were like, we gotta figure this out. This is too juicy structure for it not to hold fish.
We're doing something wrong. Well, not wrong, but we're like, I don't know, they're not here.
Like, are they just super deep, or like, 'cause they're not shallow?
It's 47 degrees. They should be kind of staging, right?
That's what I thought, but I haven't seen any of shallow. Like back home, you'll find them in 2 feet of water right now.
You've looked at a lot of this shoreline, right?
Yeah.
Like,
A lot.
all right, let's go to that. Let's go there. Are you ready to roll?
Yeah.
So picture this outer break wall, which is really a high wall that is made up of poured concrete with an undercut and all kinds of fallen rock and huge trees underneath it that is in about 9 feet of water. And I'm sitting there scratching my head being like, how is this not holding fish? And I'm like, all right, well, the wall changes from poured concrete. About 100 yards from here, it goes to massive granite block, some of which has fallen into the water and kind of steps up to, like, you know, protruding out of the water. Let's go check that out. I got a good look at what was down there, and there was just massive trees, you know, basically full-size trees sunk on the water that was bare wood. It looked so juicy. Still blanked on the smallies. No northern pike to speak of. The juiciest structure I've ever seen. We're sitting there looking at like, how is this not holding fish? So, you know, you kind of go back to the drawing board. I really didn't want to leave that, but it wasn't producing, so I didn't want to be married to it either. I'm like, something random is something small. We're missing something. The fish aren't deep. They aren't in this unbelievable structure. Where are they? So it's got to be wind direction related, it's got to be cloud cover or sunlight related. Something has these fish somewhere else, but it's not like this place isn't holding fish. We're just not looking in the right places. So after kind of talking through it and ensuring that we covered all our bases, Savannah and I decided to like slide off in 2 different directions, but on the other side of this body of water to see if that's the ticket. I head towards a massive, basically an L shape of riprap that's all granite that comes from like, I don't know, 20 feet above water, down to the water's edge and into the bottom, you know, connects to the bottom of that bay. And I make my first cast, I hook up, catch like a 2.5 pound smallie, and I'm like, all right. Then you're faced with that, do I call somebody in for one fish? You don't want to be that guy, so I'm like, let's see if there's a pattern here. So I make another cast, thought I got bit, but I was bumping the rocks pretty good, and then didn't come back with a fish that time. Cast in the other direction, and I stick a real one. I could tell as soon as I set the hook on that fish that it was a quality smallie.
so sick. Oh! Oh, nice fish. Come on, stay pinned. Stay pinned. Come on. Oh, tank. Small, this is so sick. Oh, yes. That is so badass. Absolute tank.
Turned out to be a 4-pound class smallie on the jerkbait. So jerkbait bites for smallie, it doesn't get any better than that, especially when the quality's there. So I'm hoping that we're like starting to figure something out, and now I have 2 fish and 3 casts. Should probably call in the one person that's sticking it out and grinding away with me. So I call over to Savannah. You catching?
0.
Hit this wall.
Did you catch one?
I just caught a tank.
Really?
Yeah. She comes over and I was like, I caught 2 fish, like might be onto something here, tie on a jerkbait. And there was a little lull there for like 5 or 6 casts, and then I catch another one. She hooks up. 2 casts later, I catch another one, and then all hell broke loose. It was, 2 or 3 fish every 5 casts, and they were all quality, and it was like, we need to call Alex in on this, or else we're just being selfish. So we call him, 20 minutes later, he appears, and I go from being like, I'm not too comfortable standing up on this thing, to in the middle of the most insane smallie jerkbait bite I've ever experienced, and I'm doing the 1-2 smallie jerkbait jig all around this kayak. I'm facing backwards casting. I'm walking around the thing like I'm on a pier. And we grinded it out so hard to be rewarded with 2.5 hours of some of the most epic smallie jerkbait fishing that I've ever experienced. It was out of this world. The quality of the fish were there. The numbers were there.
One after another. Everybody's got fish. Hold your fish up, Alex! Triples. Tanks. Not that that's a tank, but there's tanks here that have been caught. This is awesome.
We landed over 60 smallies between the 2 of us. And then when Alex got into the mix, he probably put up a good 20 to 30 nice smallies. We decided to do the right thing and get off the water at the time that would allow us to make dinner, because it was the right thing to do. It was a tough bite to leave. But when you're catching, 3 to 5 pound smallies, one after another on a jerkbait, it's just like that snap, snap, oh, there he is. It doesn't get any better than that. And I went from being really tentative on a new fishing platform to just dancing around that thing, having a blast. And it was amazing to me to see how fast you could get comfortable in a kayak on real water, able to stand up and walk around it like you've been fishing one for years even. And I went from being like, I'm not so sure about this, to being like, when can I do this next? That was awesome. So just a great day in the water. I hope you enjoy the action that you see in this video. So guys, stay tuned for the awesome content that we have coming down the line this summer. There's a surf series, there's a kayak series. Andy's bringing back Living Off the Land and Sea. A lot of great stuff happening in 2023 that's going to hit our YouTube channel. So follow along, stay tuned, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Got my first northern.
Heck yeah.
I'll take it.
Woo!
Oh.